get into the music industry by extorting money out of the finger pointed in his direction for the deaths of Biggie, Tupac, and Eazy-E. Before Suge Knight appeared on Jimmy Kimmel Live, stating that you don't shoot a man to kill him, instead you give him AIDS. Dr. Dre out of his deal with Ruthless Records, by force, with the use of some goons and some baseball bats and some lead pipes. Before Suge Knight would later feud with Dr. Dre and hire a goon to attack him as he accepted a Lifetime Achievement Award from Vibe. Knight received the nickname of Suge as an abbreviation for Sugar Bear, but this guy's far from soft and cuddly. Growing up, Suge Knight was a talented football player who received a full scholarship to the University of Nevada. Following that, he played for the Los Angeles Rams, but when his football career dried up, that's when he was taking note of other Compton artists blowing up in rap. He decided he would join the industry initially as a bodyguard. He quickly learned as a bodyguard he could make more money intimidating artists rather than protecting them. Vanilla Ice, Puff Daddy, Eazy-E, Jerry Heller, as well as talent managers and record producers, they all felt his wrath. Young rappers and security guards, they were also beaten to death, and this man has been linked to the death of many of the industry's greats. Thankfully, he is now behind bars, and if he ever gets out, well, I'm hoping he never watches this video. My name's Mike McCredden, documenting the life and career of Suge Knight prior to fame, here for you on Before They Were Famous. Now, Tupac, Biggie, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eazy-E, I've done all their bios here on this channel. Be sure to let me know who you want to hear about next. And if you like the look of this video, well, I got some help from my buddies over at Showbox, and well, you can probably do the same yourself, so be sure to check them out. Suge Knight was born Marion Hugh Knight Jr. on April 19, 1965 out in Compton, California. The youngest of three siblings, he received the nickname of Suge as a short form for Sugar Bear from his father, who was a singer as well as an amateur football player. He was a fantastic football player himself. He actually received a full scholarship to the University of Nevada, and while he was there, well, apparently he was killing it in the academics as well. Marion played briefly as a defensive lineman for the Los Angeles Rams. He played 2 games in 1987. He was then on call as a replacement player for the NFL, but he never got that call. Then his football career dried up and he turned to a life of crime. He was first arrested for domestic violence. He'd actually beaten up his girlfriend and cut off her hair. That same year, he was then put on probation for 2 years after he was accused for shooting a man after stealing his car. He began making moves into the music industry, initially working as a bodyguard for Bobby Brown, and he saw all the success these artists were having, and he was certain, yeah, this was the career path for him. In his late 20s, he set up a publishing company, but he wasn't doing any actual publishing. Instead, he set his sights on a new up-and-rising artist by the name of Vanilla Ice. Enjoying his time in the spotlight, well, he took note that Suge Knight kept showing up. Suge Knight then showed up at Robert Van Winkle's Beverly Hills Hotel and roughed up Vanilla Ice's entourage. He then brought Robert out onto the balcony and talked him into signing over the rights to his album To The Extreme. All of a sudden, that publishing company, well, it became extremely profitable. Suge Knight decided to diversify. He would become an artist manager. His first clients were Dr. Dre and the DOC. He was going to get them out of their contracts with Ruthless Records. Now, Eazy-E had anticipated this threat and spoke with Jerry Heller about having Suge Knight killed. Jerry talked him out of it, but states this is a conversation he has since regretted. Eazy-E and Jerry Heller, well, they were quickly convinced via force, and from there, well, Suge Knight and Dr. Dre, they would go on to form Death Row Records. Now, for some time, business was booming. Dr. Dre's The Chronic, it went triple platinum in just 1 year. The following year, Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style, it went quadruple platinum. But Suge Knight, his gangster mentality, it started causing them some problems. Young aspiring rappers George and Stanley Linwood, they were invited over to the studio by Dr. Dre to discuss a deal, and the boys, they needed to use a phone. They decided to use one of Suge Knight's. When he walked in, well, he was extremely angry. He had these young rappers stripped down naked. He then pulled out his gun. He fired a bullet. He took a look at their licenses and said, if you tell anyone about this, I'm going to kill your families. Then in 1993, Suge Knight and his goons, they would beat up a security guard by the name of Roderick Lockett. The man needed surgery to repair his spleen. His next run-in would be with Puff Daddy over accusations that one of Puff Daddy's bodyguards had killed one of Suge Knight's goons. In search of Puff Daddy's home address, Suge Knight paid a visit to New York City promoter Mark Anthony Bell, where he beat him to a pulp. He didn't get the address, but his beef with Puff Daddy and Bad Boy, it wouldn't end. Next, Suge Knight paid a visit to record producer Devante Swing while the guy was in bed. They broke into his home, they tied him up, they pistol whipped him, then they robbed him of $160,000 in jewelry. They also allegedly sodomized the man and forced him to drink urine. Now, word about Suge Knight's business tactics, it began to get out, and the New Yorker, they set up an interview. When the reporter asked about the attack on Swing, Well, Suge Knight decided to hold that reporter over a fish tank of piranhas. Suge Knight was also looking for new talent for Death Row Records, and he got his eyes set on Wu-Tang's RZA, so he decided to abduct his manager, Happy Walters. The man was located a few days later in a crummy hotel. He had been beaten, he was dazed, he was confused, he was covered in cigar burns, and he soon after dropped RZA as one of his clients. Suge's next big music move was to bail Tupac out of prison, which sounds like a pretty phenomenal idea, but Dr. Dre wasn't too impressed. In fact, Suge Knight's behavior had him on his way to make an exit. In 1995, Eazy-E, he passed away to AIDS-related complications, and a lot of people have come forward in the industry stating they're certain Suge Knight had something to do with it. The man went for acupuncture, and it's believed that the needles, they had been contaminated by someone associated to Suge Knight. In 1996, Tupac would be shot and killed while driving with Suge Knight. The following year, Biggie Smalls would be killed in a similar manner, a drive-by. Now, an ex-LAPD detective, he came forward stating that Suge Knight had orchestrated Tupac's killing. He didn't want him leaving Death Row Records, and he wanted to own all that music. That same detective also went on to state that Biggie Smalls was killed so that Suge Knight could take the heat off himself for the death of Tupac. So what happened to this detective and all his intel? Well, soon after he made these statements, he was mysteriously killed. Now, Snoop Dogg, he has since accused Suge Knight of being responsible for the death of Tupac. Shortly after the death of Biggie Smalls, well, Suge Knight was finally put behind bars. He was given 9 years, but he only served 5. The man had been put away for violating his probation charges. I can't believe that's all they got him on. He was out in 2001. By 2003, he was back in prison. Then when he got out of prison this time, you'd think he'd be laying low. Not at all. He decided to pay a visit to the Jimmy Kimmel Live show, and there, well, he talked about killing a man by injecting him with AIDS. Moving forward, well, Suge Knight, he would be in and out of prison. He would get shot at a Kanye West pre-award show party in the leg. 9 years later, he would get shot at again at a Chris Party pre-award show party. Because, well, people don't really like Suge Knight. Currently, he is behind bars for killing a member of the crew that worked on Straight Outta Compton, and bail it is set at $10 million. And the rest of the story, well, you know the story because this is Before They're Famous. My name is Mike McCrudden, and I do all sorts of celebrity bios on here. I've done a lot of the people we talked about in this video. Be sure to browse around, also hit subscribe. Now, if you like the look of this video, I got some help from Showbox. They give me all these graphics and animations, and you don't even need a green screen, so it's a really cool tool. You guys should check it out. Alright guys, my name is Mike McCrudden. I'll see you in another video.